I have a high respect for veterans of any country, of any war, especially those that have been in combat. Why? Because they've been through hell. Because most of them are already are peasants or pawns for the elite rich pigs to play their stupid war games with to launder money. It's a sick game to them, which costs lives and brings trauma to many. I don't blame the soldiers for the war. A lot of people are poor. They see it as an opportunity. Hey, I could get funding for college. Hey, I could get a job. Or I could be a drug dealer. Some people use it for nefarious purposes, like, hey, I could learn military tactics for my gang. Whatever. The governments are, a mafia, and anyone that says otherwise is an idiot. Sorry, still dry throat from the kratom. That I did like 5 seconds ago. But, the governments are the biggest mafias ever. They're the biggest criminal enterprises in the world. The only difference between a drug dealer and a doctor is taxes. Anyways, I respect veterans and soldiers. I have hopped trains and traveled with many, 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 many combat veterans. My grandpa was a veteran. I was a Vietnam veteran. His father was a World War II veteran. My father was just a veteran from the United States Navy trauma. They gave him hepatitis C by injecting him with a needle they did inject like a whole bunch of other people with before and didn't follow protocol like they were supposed to, so it was a class action lawsuit. Anyways, veterans are usually people that are impoverished, and their options are crime or in poverty. They see joining the military as an opportunity to get money for college, to get skills, to get discipline, to get structure, which could be a good thing. But they're used as pawns in a war. They're used as tools, and when there's no war, they're test bunnies. BZ experiments, look it up. My grandpa would tell me about those. He was fucked up from a lot of shit. That's what killed him. He told me a lot of fucked up stories. And I've traveled with a lot of Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. One of them, let's just call him Mike. I met him at an Occupy Raleigh protest in 2010. He was wearing his Marine uniform, but it was desecrated on the back. It was spray painted in pink, war equals peace with an anarchy sign. He took the American flag while they were having a flag folding ceremony. He grabbed it from the two veterans, threw it on the ground, poured gasoline on it, and threw a match on it. And then screamed, I had to carry a 5-year-old child for 3 clicks, screaming for their mother as they bled out. And I had to watch the child die in my hands before I could get him any help. Because of a missed airstrike hit a house and killed innocent civilians. Fuck war. And he took his jacket off and threw it into the fire. And of course, respectfully, the veterans, they all saluted him. He did get arrested for it, for arson, but the cops are very respectful. They handcuffed him, in the front very slowly, and they were very polite to him. He gained a lot of respect, and then I ran into him months later, and we traveled for a while. I've traveled with a few other veterans who I'll call him Mike too, because I don't want to give them their real names. One was in a convoy that was in Iraq that was involved in an IED explosion, and the 2 vehicles in front of him were completely incinerated. Everyone died. His was lucky. Sorta. He was in a passenger seat. The driver's jelly. His passenger, missing an arm, screaming for his mommy. Him, sitting there, traumatized, banged up, bruised. He thought he lost his legs. He thought he was dead. He thought he was in hell. He was lucky, I guess. Well, whatever the fuck you want to call luck. But he told me this story, and that's why he drank himself to death. That's why he injected. That's why he hot trams. And the VA did nothing to help him. It took the VA 15 years to get my dad housing. My dad was living with his parents because he couldn't afford housing. He tried to get his own business, for fuck's sake. He tried. The VA, all they do is like, here's a prescription of addicting medicines. Bye-bye. Here's a check that you can barely survive on. Have a nice life. Veterans shouldn't be homeless. But not just veterans. No human being on the planet should be homeless. Nobody should be in poverty. Nobody should be without health care, education, or food. And anyone that thinks otherwise is a waste of oxygen. Fuck you. And I've traveled with many of these veterans that share this CPTSD that I can't explain it. Like, you know, waking up in the middle of the night to them screaming at the top of their lungs, and there's nothing you can do about it because it's a night terror. And you're afraid to go near them because they might attack you. Or they might not. You try to coo them. You try to get to know them. A lot of them, I got to know them and I could coo them. Be like, you're home. It's Zobi. This is your road dog. We're hiding trains. We're traveling. Here's a beer, man. So, you know, and a lot of travelers are veterans. The pack I wear, I got off eBay. But the other pack I got off eBay, the one before that was my grandpa's pack. The first Alice pack I had. I still have that pack hidden somewhere in my mom's, in my sister's, garage, not my mom, which is owned by her husband. But you know, I've witnessed a lot, and you know, a lot of travelers you see are veterans. A lot of homeless people are veterans, but nobody should ever be homeless. I don't care who you are. I've seen a lot of trauma, hopping trains for 15 years. I've seen people lose limbs. I've seen murder. I've seen rape. I've seen suicide. Grape. I've tried to stop the grape, but I couldn't because I got jumped, because Rainbow Family Living Light let it happen. I don't know. Just figured I'd share my story.